Welcome to 𝐄𝐓𝐇𝐄𝐑𝐄𝐒, talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As recording number 5:11 p.m. on Eastern Time on September 4th on Sunday, across the entire market today has been relatively flat. I would say, not just today, but across the last 48 hours so far. And just to keep this quick today, across the spectrum, we are, just consolidated at the 1550. Knowing the fact that we've been kind of digesting and absorbing the negativity that we've been seeing ever since the Jackson Hole speech, and then subsequent to that, we've seen negative corporate guidance, and also with respect to corporate adjustments, laying off 25 to 15% of workforce, depending on what companies and what specific industry sector you're talking about. But it's definitely, not the most ideal in terms of the, the key mandates that the Fed has, right? The job numbers, right? The job mandates. And with respect to the aggression that, well, not aggression, but like more of a very, specific verbiage that we've heard from Jerome Powell. We understand that we're going to be, doing whatever it takes to fight inflationary pressure. So raising the rates again, despite the two consecutive 75 basis point rate hikes that we've performed so far, doesn't seem like the efficacy is that, doesn't work that much like we expect to be. So we might have to keep it, more of a reactionary type of perspective going forward. We might have to do it again until we get there, right? So, there are some speculations among economists saying that, we might be, raising the rates more all the way until like later in Q2 next year. So that's going to be a more of a elongated torture. And when you're doing that, you're taking, financial capital away from the equity market, but obviously correlates with the crypto market, which, also hinder the overall market to be going up from here, right? So, with respect to September, is typically a relatively negative month based on historical, observation. But also this month is going to be a lot of flavorful catalysts that we need to look out for. There are basically three things that are relatively sizable, right? Well, four things depending on how you want to talk about it. So one is with respect to the merge, which is debuting on September 15th. So there are a lot of speculations around that, people might be trying to price in the merge, the 2.0 transition, ahead of it happening, which is very logical. There's a typical, type of dynamics around stocks, when there's a spec, as a SPAC, those type of stocks, those special purpose vehicle acquisition stocks, being converted into an actual stock. There's always anticipated pressure ahead of the the acquisition being released on the specific dates, and then sell off from there. So we might be seeing some similar affectation around this around Ethereum specifically. So we might see like a short-term rise all the way until September 15th, and then sell off from there. However, we have to understand that there's another catalyst that's happening on the 13th, or the 14th. I think depending on like how people are digesting the statistics is with respect to the CPI report and the PPI report, which is laying around that time frame, like 13, 15, 13, 14, and 15. And then as we digest all of the merge, obviously the CPI report and the PPI report, understanding the the consumer and the purchasing power dynamics, we will be getting the FOMC meeting on the 21st. So 20th to 21st is basically when the meeting is going to be happening. But in terms of like the specific verbiage that's coming out, it's going to be on the 21st, right? And then obviously it's going to be earnings, right? There will be some interesting observations that we need to look out for around management team from these large companies. How their outlook going forward, how their guidance looking like going forward? Are we going to be seeing more price adjustments? Are they still fighting on inflationary pressure, squeezing the profitability margin? How are they dealing with the capital expenditure and the human capital front that they have to be dealing with going forward? Are they going to be, firing more people, and things like that, right? So enough of the talking. So let's just dive right into the technical respective recording time of 5:16 p.m. on the Eastern time. We are again right 1550, 1570 because we are up just a little bit. On a daily front, we are still bullish, right? You could see that we will experience some short-term volatility, short-term upswing. But on the weeks out, right, we will ideally see some negativity, but not a sizable one, but still, we have to normalize down from here to correct this, come down and then come up from here. But on the monthly, right, as we get further out, into the future, obviously after the September month, in Q4, by the Santa Claus rally, we should ideally see some bullish pressure. Respect to Bitcoin, I would say similar affectation. Monthly looks quite stale. Weekly looks like it's quite fused together, so it's not going to be a lot of movements. But up or down about like maybe $1,000 up or down, can be a possibility. And with respect to the daily, it looks quite bullish right now. Not seriously bullish, but like just it's a lot more stable and bullish in comparison to Ethereum as well, right? So with respect to overall altcoin market, I would say they're trading quite comparable to Ethereum. So in terms of like the technical front, as we're shifting on to September 15, prepare for similar, sell-off or pump across the entire market. It would not be a surprise. It seems like Ethereum is slowly becoming like the motherlord, on driving the, across the whole entire crypto market, which is not a surprise, right? It is getting, more and more, market awareness and more adoption. So that's very logical. So appreciate you. It's a shorter one. I don't want to keep you guys too long anyways. I want to try to keep it as sweet as possible. But have a good Labor Day weekend tomorrow. I know tomorrow's going to be a market day off for the equity side, but obviously crypto never stops. But for those on the other side of the world, that are not in the US, have a great Monday ahead, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Take care.